Hey guys, in today's video, we're going to talk about how to create effortless power in your backswing with these 3 moves. All right, guys, let's talk about how to create effortless power in your backswing with the 3 moves I want to show you. I want to show you 3 moves that are critical to you creating effortless power during your downswing, what those 3 moves are, why you should do them, and a drill or 2 for each one. Before we go into this, I want to let you know that today's video is going to be sponsored by our partner, UpGlove. Okay, so some of you guys know about UpGlove, some of you guys don't. In my mind, it's basically like a Dollar Shave Club, but for gloves. How it works is you get these gloves sent to you either on a monthly or a quarterly basis. They have 2 different options. You can pay about $29 a month to get 3 gloves, or it's $19 a month to get 2 different gloves. And again, you can choose, do you want them every month? Do you want them every quarter? For me, I love it. I never remember to get a glove. I never have a glove in my bag. I like this. They're sent right to my house and I can use these, and they're good gloves. They're the gloves that I actually use in the videos. As per all these videos, we're never going to do a sponsored video, recommend something that I don't actually like and use. So if you guys want to check out UpGlove, if you always forget gloves like me, you should check these guys out. I'll put the link in the description down below. So moves in the backswing, there's 3 of them that I want to talk about. The first move to create effortless power has to do with your feet, okay? So there's no getting around that you need to use your feet well so you can use the ground well to create speed. And that doesn't matter whether we're talking about golf or baseball or lifting or any other sport, you have to use the ground properly. So if you want to create effortless speed during your downswing and learn how to hit the ball farther, we need to have a pressure shift into the right foot. So this will be more of a feel than it is a drill. And so if we were to take our normal setup, and I started my swing with about 50-50 in terms of percent in my feet, okay? 50-50, 50 in my left, 50 in my right. When I make a backswing, I need there to be some pressure shifting into my right foot. Now, what I don't want, and what I don't mean is I don't want your entire body, the mass of your body, moving way to the right and to the left. Can you move some? Yes, but I'm talking pressure in the feet. What I want to have happen is go from 50-50, and as I'm making my backswing, I'm feeling more pressure in my right foot during the whole backswing. Essentially, I'm pushing my right foot down into the ground. How much should I push? If I start 50-50, I'd like you to gradually go from 50% in your right foot to about 60, 70, maybe even 80% at the top of your swing if you're looking for more speed. Now notice when I did that, my body stayed more or less centered, but if we had a pressure mat, you could see that I shifted pressure in my right foot. So, excuse me, that's part number 1, is just pressure going to the right. Now the second part is, should that go towards your toes or should that go towards your heel? So when you go back, I want the pressure to go to the right foot and slightly back towards your heel. So in the middle of my foot or a little bit back towards my heel as I make the backswing would produce the most speed. So if I were just to make a stock swing, you'll see I'm going to look like I stay pretty centered, but there's going to be a pressure shift going on in my foot. Okay, I want to press down on my right foot so that I can create speed. I'll go ahead and do one more. Pressing down on my right foot during the entire backswing in the middle or slightly towards the right heel if I want to create the most speed. Good, so that'll be about normal. Now, that's part number 1, is the pressure shift. And the whole reason we're doing these backswing pieces to create effortless speed is to create a reaction. Your backswing is not as relevant as your downswing, but the reaction that you set up is as relevant. What I do going back is going to set me up to create speed or not to create speed. And for me to create speed during my downswing, I need to be able to push off of something. And what I need to be able to push off of is my right foot and my right side late in the downswing. So if I don't shift to the right, how can I push off of there? I can't. I need to have a little bit of shift so I can push off. So that's part number 1 of this, is the pressure in the feet. Now, part number 2 is going to be shoulder tilt. So for shoulder tilt, I'm going to give you a little bit of drill here. Essentially, what I want you to take out of this is how steep or horizontal your shoulders will tilt or how far down your left shoulder goes is going to dictate some of your ability to create speed. Okay, so what I want you to understand, if I was just basically straight here like this, my left shoulder has to go down some amount as I create turn. That's what we would call left side bend during your backswing. So from this side, my left shoulder needs to go down some amount as I create turn. That left side bend that I create, I'm going to get rid of during my downswing and add in some right side bend. That's a speed creator. We'll get to that in a future video. But what I want you to understand is if I turn very flat or turn very level, I don't have any of that left side bend in there, and then I don't have as much speed that I can create during the downswing, and I'll explain more about that in a later video. But I want to give you a drill as to how much shoulder tilt you should have. Where should your left shoulder go down to? So the drill for the shoulder tilt during the backswing, let me show you how I set this up, and I'll explain how to go through it. So if I take a normal setup to a golf ball like this, in fact, I'll get rid of this for a second. If I take a normal setup, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a stick on the ground, it's just a regular alignment stick, on the ground where the ball is. So that represents my ball target line. And then I put a second golf ball in here, and I set that up. This might be, kind of bear with me here for a minute. I set that up 1 foot outside of my golf ball and 3 club lengths. Okay, so it's probably about 6 inches to the right. So it's 1 foot outside of that. So I have a little space here between my ball target line and the ball of about 1 foot, maybe just under 1 foot. And I put it to the right of my golf ball, 3 club lengths, okay? Now what that represents for me is a zone that I want to tilt my shoulders within. So if I take this alignment rod and I go back to the top, and I were to take my normal setup to that golf ball, when I make a backswing, I want to have my left shoulder down and my shoulders tilted to the point where it's between this line and that ball. So this zone here is what I would call a safe zone. I don't want to tilt my shoulders to the point where I'm inside of that line, and I don't want to tilt my shoulders where I'm outside of that line. So I give about 1 foot as a rough reference. Now I have a short iron in my hand to do that. As the clubs get a little bit longer, the turn will be a little bit flatter. But as a general reference point for some of you that want to create speed, you want to have that stick from my eye line pointed between that line and the golf ball. And again, the purpose of that is to get your left shoulder a little lower during your backswing. Now, why do you want that? When you get your left shoulder lower, like this, that creates left side bend. When you create left side bend as you turn, it enables you to go into what we would call extension, okay? An extension here, which is this movement, during my backswing, and extension during my follow through allows me to stay centered, and it also produces speed. Just like if I were gonna bend down and jump up, okay, any kind of motion where I'm creating speed, I'm creating extension here. It's a speed producer. The point is when you tilt your left shoulder down, that pairs with extension. It's going to allow you to create speed during your downswing. If you turn too flat, your head's going to move off the ball. You have no extension, no power. If you look at a guy like a Justin Thomas at the top, left shoulder goes down, head stays centered, he's in left side bend, and he has extension. You can see some wrinkles in his shirt. He does the opposite reaction. It's almost like a coil. It's not scientific. I don't want to get any comments on that. But you can coil out of that extension and left side bend and create speed during the downswing. So this is the drill for how much I want your left shoulder to go down. That's the second part of creating effortless power during your backswing. I'm going to show you the third part here in a second. The third part of creating speed during your backswing now has to do with the shaft and the club itself. And if you guys have been around here for a while and you watch some of our videos, you know that, and we've talked a lot about the fact that the angle of the shaft during the backswing, whether it's vertical or horizontal, affects how much speed you're going to be able to produce, okay? And the point being, when I go back during my backswing, if I can get the shaft more vertical, it will produce more speed versus if I have the shaft more horizontal. Are there players who take a backswing and get the shaft horizontal and swing the club fast? Of course, okay? The point is, for the greater majority of you, the motions we're going to pair with that If we can get the shaft more vertical, it's easier to have it be a little bit more horizontal during the downswing. And remember, this video is about effortless power. Effortless, which means I don't want to have to put a lot of force into the club. When we get to the downswing video, you're going to see this downswing, that's force into the club. Me laying the club down is effortless. So how I create that is getting the shaft more vertical going back. Drill, okay. What I would do is I'd take these two alignment rods, I'd put an alignment rod by the ball target line again. I'd take the second alignment rod, I'd put it on the side of the club and I'd grip it. And that's gonna feel weird in the beginning if you haven't done it. You can put it on the top and grip it. You can put it on the side, you can put it underneath, doesn't much matter. I like to put it a little bit under and a little on the side. So when I hold it like this will be up the side of the club on my left hip. Now the point is, this is gonna be an indicator for where my shaft is during the backswing. Right now I have a stick at the ball target line and I have my feet. Okay, so I have two lines here. I've got this little safe zone. When I make a backswing, I want this stick to point somewhere between that ball line and my feet line. It's going to depend a little bit on how much depth you have. Okay, notice that points in different spaces, but if you have a neutral amount of depth, I want the stick to point between my toe line and that ball target line. Okay, so that's what I'm going for. That's the feel that I'm going for. You can hit balls with this in, but what I would do is I would take this out, and just like the left shoulder feel, right? I'd put this in once or twice, feel that feel, confirm it with a mirror or video or something, and then I'd hit a couple with it. Okay, I'd feel, okay, I'm gonna feel that same thing with my stick in there to have my left shoulder go a little bit lower. And then I'm not gonna judge myself without seeing it. Okay, that's a drill for a feel. I'm gonna give myself feedback. I'm gonna do that a couple times. And I'm going to adjust accordingly. And I'm gonna do the same thing with the steep backswing. I'm gonna put the stick in, and I'm gonna do a couple reps, and I'm gonna feel, okay, wow, that's what that feels like, okay. Okay, I'm probably looking in the mirror, I'm watching a video too. Okay, that feels really exaggerated. Now let me go in here and try that, and I'm gonna try and match that exaggeration level and feel like it gets a little bit more vertical when I go back. Okay, good, how did that feel? Let me confirm it with feedback. So those are the three pieces for an effortless, to create effortless power during your backswing with these three moves. And again, the point of these three moves is to create a reaction during your downswing, okay? You don't hit the ball during your backswing, but you can do a lot to create reactions during your downswing. Pressure in the feet, getting the shoulder tilt, and getting the shaft more vertical, albeit not completely necessary to play good golf, are three easy ways to set yourself up to create effortless power during the downswing. If you guys have any questions, as always, leave a comment down below. Hey guys, if you liked today's video, please do me a favor, click the like button down below. Click the notification bell if you haven't. Also, please subscribe. Another reminder, CogornoGolf.com is up and live. If you guys want more instruction from me, tailored for you, go ahead and check it out. Thanks for watching.